Hi, I'm Paul Perdue, and I am an infrastructure nerd.
And I'm Mary Jo Boyd, and I'm a legal technologist. We're going to talk about integrated accounting today, specifically how to integrate Tabs3 payments with our general ledger accounting module.
Some people have tabs and another accounting package, QuickBooks, Peachtree. So what that means is when they enter the payment into tabs, which of course you have to do to reduce the balance on the client's account, you then have to turn around and enter that same payment into the bookkeeping system to put it on the deposit slip to show it as income in your books.
But by using our general ledger module, you can integrate those tabs payments automatically and have them show up into the general ledger, and it makes things so much easier.
Can you show us how easy that is?
Absolutely. So we're going to talk about how payments integrate with general ledger from tabs and how to set that up. So the very first thing that you have to do is under customization in tabs is we have to turn that integration on. So under the other systems tab, we have a general ledger software integration, and it has to be turned on with that checkbox. And then we have to make sure it's integrating with our correct GLS client. So that would be set up as our law firm over in General Ledger. So once in tabs you have that turned on to integrate, then what we're going to do is we're going to set up how we want that to integrate to General Ledger. So payments can go over several different ways. You can have them go into individual fee income accounts for each attorney. It could dump into one fee account for the entire law firm. We can integrate costs and split those between expenses and advances. We can integrate finance charge and sales tax if you charge that. So there's all kinds of different things to set up that we have to do under our integration tab. So when we go to the integration, there's a GLS integration setup icon. We'll click on that. And then we want to integrate the payment entries. So right here we have configure payment integration. So we click that. And the first thing we have to do is we have to set up our unapplied payments. And I know Paul and I have probably talked about unapplied payments in the past, or we will in the future, but that is a temporary holding account that if you have a credit balance, that payment will post to until you actually bill the statement. Once you bill, it'll take it out of the unapplied payments account and it will distribute it how we tell it to down here. So you have to set that up. It's going to ask you to put that somewhere. It might just go into your fee income account. You might put it in there and pull it back out and put it back in when you bill, or it could be a designated unapplied payment account. I don't want to get too confused on that, or have you get too confused on it, but for now we're just going to click on it. I'll show you that you would put it into the debit account, which is always your operating account, the bank account you want it to be deposited in, and then you have your credit account. Here in our instance, this is just our unapplied payments account. It is a separate account, and we are putting it under receipts. These are your different journals. Now if I do the drop down next to any of these accounts, it takes me right to my chart of accounts that's defined in General Ledger. So any of those accounts are available for me to choose from to go ahead and make my posting. And the reason we want to develop this now and set it up properly is every time in the future when we enter a payment in tabs, it will follow these rules that we're setting up, and it will go ahead and post those payments exactly how we have it set here. So unapplied payments is a basic one, but you have to have it. And then we start getting into specific ways that we want to distribute this money in our general ledger accounts. So we start with fees. You have several different choices here. If it's just a simple, I just want to take a payment and I want to put it into a fee income account, we can just do single debit and credit. We're just going to say it's going to post to my operating and it's going to post to fee income. And then you also have a secondary way that you can sort and have it be defined. So you can get very specific here. So this is the simplest, just being a single debit and credit. If I click on my fee accounts, it's going to ask me for my operating account and then my fee income account, and then it would be a receipt. If I change this to be client category, we could say that if this were a real estate case, it's going to dump into a real estate fee income or a family income or litigation. This is all defined on whatever billing category you've set up for each client. You also can do it by location. So if you have one account that goes to for a location in your Toledo office and you have another location that is in Dundee and you want to have that go into a separate bank account, you can actually set that up by client location. You also can do it by payment transaction code. If you have a transaction code that is for certain types of fees that you're using, you can use and break it down by that and have it post to different general ledger accounts as well. Then you can go into primary, secondary, originating, or working. If you have working timekeepers and you have separate general ledger accounts set up under fees for them, you can actually set this up by working timekeeper and then have that be designated to go into their specific fee income account in general ledger. So you can see it can get pretty complicated, but and then you can also do it by a secondary sort. So it can get, by payment transaction code and then working timekeeper, or by client category and then working timekeeper, or working timekeeper and client category. It can get very specific in here on how you're setting these up. But like, it's a one-time thing. You set it up. Once you get it set up, it's there for you to have it just post automatically. We also have costs that we can go in. Again, we have some different ways that you can distribute that. Cost type is probably the biggest, and what that means is it's either an expense or an advance. So you can come in and say, all my expenses go into this account and are posted here, but all of my advances are going to be posted against a client cost advance account. So there's lots of different things here that you can do to set that integration up. There's also finance charge, sales tax, there is progress fees. We're not going to get into those as specifically. The main ones here: unapplied, fees, and cost, and finance charge. Those are probably the top four that you're going to have to get very specific and get those set up. Once it is, when you come in to enter your payments, it will automatically post to the general ledger. And we're going to do one. So I'm going to come under a client here, and we're going to add a payment. So we're just going to use Peterson Insurance. I'm going to add a new payment. And we're just going to say that we want this to post in my test sample data here in 2011. And we are just going to put in a $500 payment. And I'm going to go ahead and save it. And I'm not going to enter a check number. And then I am going to go here. It's coming right over to my integration because I probably did not set that up. Hold on a moment. I got out of it before I finished the setting up. So let me get back to my integration. And let's set that up for sure because I got out before I saved it. So let's go to my single debit and credit, and let's pick a bank account here. So let's do our operating. And let's go ahead down to a fee income account. I'm just going to do it very simply. I'm just going to put it into a fee income account here. And it will be a receipt. There. Now that I've got it set up, let's try to go enter that payment again. So let's go over here. And here is a payment for Peterson. Let's do it for $500. And let's go ahead and save it. No check. And now it just took the payment. And if I go over to my general ledger, get up here, and I'm going to go to the operating account. We entered this on 11/15. And, sorry, I should have opened that first. Let's go to general ledger. Let's look at our operating account. And let's do that through November. And we should see on our list a payment. Let me zoom this in a little. For Peterson Insurance. Right here's our payment. $500 right here. There we go. There's our Peterson Insurance payment. And it came right over. It made the journal entry for me, posting to my operating account and then also to my fee income account. So now that that's in my general ledger, it's available to see here on there, and it's also available on my reconciliation report. So it's that simple. Once you've set up your parameters under the integration, you enter your payments, they post automatically exactly how you told them, and then you can go over and review them in your general ledger. One step, and it's done. So that's how the integrated payments work.
And that's just one more way that we can help you to worry less
and practice more.